So I've bought this watch and I've gotten the chance to use it. So I wanted to share an update. Now, I'm going to share what I like and then also maybe what it lacks a little bit. But being the price point it was the reason I bought it, especially for all the functions it was supposed to have. So here's what exactly I loved about it. The first off is the strap is very comfortable. I know sometimes they get to be where they're actually like kind of rough and maybe rub your skin, but I felt like this stayed on really well. I currently also have a Garmin watch that I was using before, but again, the price point being that I really wanted to see if this had everything that did. I do have to say that the step count was pretty accurate. My Garmin watch does have GPS. This one has just like the step count. So if you are like, it's not going to track where you're running, but it will track your miles. You can do outdoor run, you can do walk. There's a ton of exercises that you can put on for it. So there's even like skipping and yoga. There's tons, and this isn't even all of them. So you can actually customize it to what you want to show on the screen. Now, if you are on the screen and it's not one of the exercises that you want, you do have to add it from the app. So just know that. So the other thing that I really liked about it is that it is super customizable. It has two buttons here. This bottom button is what you use to do most of the things, and then also just sliding on the screen. But the top button you can program to bring up exactly what you want. So then you just have to press one button. So maybe you are somebody who walks a lot, then you can program this to like walk. So then that way you don't have to actually scroll through and click it. You can just have it like a one button shortcut thing. So you can set that up in settings. I'm also learning that there's a lot more things and customizations that you can make with this. I'm still learning them, but these are some of my favorites. One of the things that I do think it lacks, or maybe I just haven't got the hang of, is the sleep. Now, I have young kids, so I am waking up constantly through the night. But I do notice that it stops logging my sleep after about like a 3-hour stretch that I do have to actually physically get up and walk to my daughter's room. That did also happen with my Garmin watch, but there was a way I could program it so it had like a window. I am still learning how to do that, so I will update. But I have noticed that. The strap itself also is really long, and one of the things I wasn't sure I was going to like, but I actually do, is when you put it on, you do not have like the little strap holders on the side, because the strap actually is going to tuck in. So it is not sticking out, it is tucked in and under. And I would say, like, I normally am on the 4th hole, so there's quite a bit of strap left, but it fits under there very nicely. I like that because it actually gets caught on a lot less things. So that was a really awesome surprise. Now, the other thing is it says it is water proof for like showering, your normal activities, swimming, but not like your scuba diving. And it says in the manual that waterproofness can wear over time. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, I haven't had it long enough to see that impact, but that's something, if you are somebody who's a frequent like scuba diver, swimmer, or whatever, then you might want to just check that out. Okay, so the back is, I find I wear it just right against my skin, just like my other watches, and it picks it up. It can do heart rate, it can do blood pressure, blood oxygen. So a lot of really cool features that I didn't have on my other one. And then you can change the watch face too. So that changes on your app. You're going to need your app for a lot of things, but you can, I guess, even put like a picture, but you can also choose from different widgets. I just have it set to the time and date and day of the week right now. But I will probably put weather on there. And then also, like, if you wanted to change the screens here, I noticed they had like an Apple Watch style where it has all the bubbles. You could change it to that kind of a format if you maybe did have an Apple Watch and you're moving to that, just to make it like a little bit more friendly. But I prefer like kind of just swiping through everything. This is also the first screen, but I did see that you could also do that. The other thing that I found to be a little bit slow was the blood pressure or the heart rate monitor. I noticed with my Garmin that picks it up pretty quickly. This one, you kind of have to wait a few seconds for it to process. So at first I thought it wasn't fully like getting it right away, but then I realized that it just had to kind of process it for a few seconds before it would pick it up. So that's another thing that I noticed. Now, I am someone who does like HIIT workouts, strength training, and all that. So I do like to watch my heart rate monitor, and I have found it is pretty consistent with what I was getting with my Garmin. I just had to pause and wait a few seconds longer. You can also determine what like notifications you want to come on. The alarm as well. I use my alarm on my watch all the time. And the first night I realized that you have to actually set your alarms, like you have to create your alarms from your app, but then you can turn them on and off from your phone. So you can't change the time of the alarms from not your phone, your watch. But you can change them on your app and set them up, and then you can turn them on and off. Like if you were going to bed and you need an alarm, you could, if it's the same time, you could toggle it on, but you can't edit it on your watch. So that's another thing to know. But considering it was such a great price point, I feel like it does so many of the features. So like if you are someone who has a name brand watch and are maybe coming to where you need to be replacing it, I think this is definitely a contender. Also, the battery life. Right now, we're at about halfway, and we're a little over 3 days. And I haven't taken it off. I've just worn it on because I want to be able to compare it. When I'm walking the same path, and it does get maybe within like 0.1 or 0.2, but I think that's just because my GPS watch is just that little bit more accurate. Also, I know on my Garmin, when I do set my GPS, if I'm pushing a stroller or if I'm carrying a child, it's still going to count those steps if it's created as a workout, where this watch, I have to be swinging. So just know that when you are like doing walking or anything, if you are pushing a shopping cart or you're pushing something, or even like walking like on a treadmill, then you need to be like kind of swinging. That's what I noticed, and want it to be most accurate. So definitely check this one out. I'm so impressed. Honestly, like I said, those few things are just some things that I noticed. But again, paying as much as I was paying for a name brand to include those things, I think this does such an excellent job. You can see calls coming through, you can see texts coming through. So if you have your Bluetooth on and everything, it's excellent. So overall, definitely check this one out if you are looking at it, because yes, I have been so impressed.